At a live retailer conference on June 8th, Jonathan Hickman, Brian Hitch, and CB Cebulski unveiled their plans for a full-scale resurrection of the Ultimate Universe. After the events of Ultimate Invasion, which will see the maker attempt to restore the Ultimate Universe, a new version of it will be born out of that conflict. In November, Marvel will then launch the new Ultimate Universe with Ultimate Universe #1 by Jonathan Hickman and Stefano Caselli. It will serve as a jumping on point and a lead-in for the line-wide relaunch. The fucking Ultimate Universe is back.
It's a good thing, right?
I don't know about that.
Who knows?
It's a weird thing. It is.
That's what we're here to talk about. That's the show, Marco. Great question.
Should I end the stream now? That's it?
Well, we haven't answered it.
We do it?
Wow. Hello and welcome to the show. This should be a good morning. We're going to obviously be talking about Marvel's Ultimate Universe Reborn. We've got a lot to say about that. So, hopefully you guys are ready to have that conversation. It's funny because, when they first announced Ultimate Invasion, it was like, what the hell is this? And we had, almost an hour conversation about what it could be. And we all said, Marco wasn't there, but Kale, Tyler, and I all said, okay, sure, resurrecting the Ultimate Universe, fine. Why? What is it? How is it going to be different? I don't feel like this announcement actually answered one single question other than the fact that it's coming back.
That sounds completely on brand.
Yeah, it sure does. Does that bother you guys that we don't know anything more?
Absolutely. I love the idea that it's coming back. Why? The fact that there's no information about it makes me care less at the moment. It's all this, it's just another event to hype everyone.
Right.
This false engagement. Keep
For
it in
me,
your
it's just
mind. It's coming. Ooh.
Like, even though this is announced and we know, like, all right, Ultimate Universe, we're back, baby, we're back. But I just, like, what does this mean? Like, I've seen the line of Marvel Comics right now. Can they afford to add, more? Like, is this just, all right, we have an Ultimates book, and there'll be an Ultimate Miles book. And I don't know, like, do they do what's the big three? Avengers, Spider-Man, X-Men, right? For Ultimates?
Early days, at least, yeah.
Yeah. So they do like three new books, or are we talking like line wide? Like, here's 15 new ongoings with all Italian artists, because we can pay them cheaper. But I will say it is nice to see Stefano Caselli. This is the New Warriors reunion here with Hickman and Caselli. So that is enough to
Secret Warriors.
That Warriors, yeah,
Yeah.
that's the right Warriors, yeah. It was not Golden State either.
No.
That's a basketball joke, rare one from me. But yeah, I don't know if I'm excited. I'm just like, okay, we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm excited because I've never
You
experienced.
said that so sheepishly. I'm
Well,
excited.
I'm excited.
I've never experienced the even to go back to read some of the stuff. So it feels like a moment of Marvel that I would have missed, similar to like if I had started reading comics later and I would have missed the New 52 moment. And so now that it's coming back, I'm like, oh, I can get in on what these guys have an understanding for, and it can kind of bring me a little bit deeper into the fold.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think this will be very unlike the original one.
Well, let's refer back to that in a moment. So this is directly from the Marvel.com article that blew the doors open on this announcement. So it says, in the same vein as the groundbreaking Ultimate Comics line that defined the 2000s with bold storytelling and risk-taking twists on Marvel characters, Hickman and Hitch's new universe will revolutionize the world outside your window. Witness the spark that will light this new age in Ultimate Invasion. After the maker's desperate attempt to restore the Ultimate Universe unleashes massive unintended consequences, a group of Marvel's heroes are caught in a war between timelines. As universes collide, the foundation of a new line of Ultimate Comics will be built. Okay, so what do we know? The Ultimate Universe spawns out of the chaos of Ultimate Invasion. After that, we're going to get this one shot, Ultimate Comics #1, or Ultimate Universe #1, rather. And that's going to set the table. What happens next? Is there a reason for an Ultimates line in 2023? Because let's just think real fast about what it was like when the Ultimates launched over 20 years ago now. Remember, this is Marvel and just comics right out of the 90s. Things were not great. They needed to do something radical. Marvel in particular needed to do something radical. The characters in the main line were stale, and they didn't feel like they were fulfilling the promise anymore of these characters representing the world outside your window. You know, it wasn't the same. And so the idea was, hey, let's take our best and brightest and put them on this new line where they can go hog wild. It was almost like letting these creators have an imprint, a shared imprint within Marvel. It's not creator owned, but these guys were doing whatever the hell they wanted. That's what made it special. Can they still do that? Because we all know Marvel's toothless now.
Yeah, Bendis spearheaded a lot of the Ultimate Universe with Ultimate Spider-Man. And while it has a lot of flavor of Spider-Man, it's very different. Gwen is Carnage. MJ is the one that gets thrown off the bridge by the Green Goblin. Everything is truncated and weird for Peter Parker. But then you get stuff like Ultimate X-Men, which was just all over the damn place. I don't see it happening that way again. I think Marvel's not desperate enough yet for it to work that well.
Yeah, and for me, it's like, I'm still not convinced that it doesn't share similarities with the MCU.
Yeah.
Especially when you look at this image, the first Ultimate Universe one-shot #1, like there are some silhouetted characters in the background, and there's nothing I love more than a Marvel mystery silhouette.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's my favorite thing ever. But you can tell Spider-Man's back there. A Spider-Man is back there. And a Black Panther looks like it's back there. I don't know who the guy on the front right is, but that's definitely a Black Panther on the other side. So, again, these are the prominent MCU characters in a way. But I don't know. I don't know. It's they can't just pick up where they left off. That's for sure. I don't see that being a possibility.
Well, here's the problem.
Yeah.
When you look at that cover, like you said,
Yep.
you notice those characters that are silhouetted. Let's talk about the ones that aren't.
Yeah.
Cap, Iron Man, and Thor. Now, they're very obviously in their Ultimate Universe costumes. And that implies, it doesn't guarantee, but it implies that they're the same versions of those characters. Thor you can get away with, but that version of Cap is very, very specific and not like the Cap from the movies or the mainline comics. So let's say for the sake of this conversation that your theory is not correct, that this is not an MCU, in comics, right? are they really just going to bring us the same versions of these characters that we've already seen and reboot the whole line? At that point, that's garbage.
But that feels in line with the sort of lack of hedging that, or rather, the hedging that Marvel has been doing. Like, you're going to play it safe. You guys know these characters. Here they are. Once again, that feels clean and easy and something like, all right, I'm going to lock in on the nostalgia, not on the Ultimate line as a concept or vehicle for innovation.
It does feel like a nostalgia. Like think about it. Like where all those like nostalgia books that are out right now. Like Joe
Ben
Fixit
Reilly
and stuff
and-
like that. Yeah. Like we have Planet
Yeah.
Hulk going on. But like Planet Hulk is like there's like a nostalgia book for that. The Ultimates is older than that, So
Yeah.
are we? It's just big Ultimate Universe nostalgia bait, really? And they're just gonna try and be like, all right, well let's cash in on the people who have money. Let's just try to pick up where we're left off and forget about that whole Secret Wars end times thing, Weird.
But like, my thing is this: the characters that I have nostalgia for, and I started reading comics with Ultimate Spider-Man and New Avengers.
Yeah.
So I'm right there, right? But the characters that I have nostalgia for are not the Ultimate characters. Those, to me, in my mind, those feel very specific. I like those stories because they're so tied to the people that wrote them. Like, think about that universe. Think about the lifespan of the Ultimate Universe versus the lifespan of any other, Marvel, DC, whatever. You're talking about 50, 60, 70 plus years of storytelling versus 10 or 15 at most.
I think there are people who have nostalgia for these characters.
I'm not saying they don't. I was just talking about myself.
Sure, yeah.
Do I care about Ultimate Spider-Man written by whoever? Not really. Ultimate Spider-Man by Bendis, those stories are what I have nostalgia for.
Yeah, I think specifically with Spider-Man too, like that was only Bendis, really.
Right. He's the only person that wrote that main line, like that book, ever, as far as I know.
Yeah, so I
When
agree with your take on Spider-Man.
When you think about Ultimate X-Men, right? Which writers do you think about?
I couldn't tell you.
Miller, right?
Kirkman?
Ultimate X-Men's a blind spot for me. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
When you think about Ultimates, you think about Miller. I don't really care too much what other writers want to do with the Ultimates because Hickman did well with them, but he didn't even finish his food. So we didn't even see that resolution of that. So really, the only one that got it done was Miller.
He's pretty busy.
Right.
Doing a podcast, right?
That takes a lot of time. So yeah, I like, do you guys disagree with me then? Or it's just my feeling personally, but do you feel differently? Are you nostalgic for these characters, that world?
No, because like you say, those stories are emblematic of a truncated history. It's stuff that is that I use specifically to sort of get a flavor of what is going on in the main universe, and then my love transferred over to the main universe because that was the real version.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially in the case of the Avengers and the Ultimates.
Well, like Matt in the chat, and I remember this, he pretty much only read the Ultimate Universe. So there are people out there who are because they were so invested in it, because they can start at a starting point, that's their universe and that's what they cared about. But when did they get rid of it? 6 years ago at this point?
12?
That long?
14?
Right. So do those people still care? I don't know.
Probably. Same people who pick up the Joe Fixit book and the Ben Riley book.
I'm not sure those are exactly the same people, but
but there's an audience there.
See, but the thing with that is that those books are being written by the same people who were writing them 30 years ago. That's what I'm saying. If you're going to tell me that you're going to get Bendis back, and you're going to bring the band back together, then sure. But that to me, that's different. Like if I tell you, right, I'm nostalgic for like Grant Morrison's Batman, right? I don't want you to go get another writer to tell stories in that time frame. If I want new stories from then, I want Morrison. You know what I'm saying?
You're reading Chip anyway, so like that's
well, but that's one aspect, not the idea of the run.
Sure. Honestly, though, I do think the possibility of Bendis coming back to Ultimate Spider-Man is high. Like that smells San Diego Comic-Con announcement to me.
Yeah, I mean they keep farming out Slott to come back to Spider-Man every 10 seconds, like Spider-Man isn't selling like hotcakes no matter what they do.
Right.
Isn't Bendis locked in to DC for the next few years?
He's done.
Oh no, he is. Yeah,
he's like
done.
only doing stuff at like Dark Horse right now, some creator-owned stuff.
Yeah, he's talked about how he's very happy doing creator-owned, but creators lie.
Especially when it comes to paychecks.
Right. I did want to, first of all, say thank you to everybody that is currently watching live. You guys are great, and I appreciate all the comments. Keep them coming. You guys really showed up today. To switch gears just a little bit. When the Ultimate Universe first launched, you had Brian Hitch. And Brian Hitch created the look and feel of that universe. He really kind of built the blueprint, and he's who you associate in your mind visually probably with, that line of comic books. To me, the Ultimate Universe was as much about the look as it was the way the stories were being told. Hickman, we'll talk about him a little bit more in a moment, but is Caselli the Hitch of this era? Is Caselli the guy to, usher us into this new world? When they do announce the inevitable Ultimates, is he the one that will be on art there? Or is there another artist that you think they should be tapping to be the guy?
Honestly, I think Caselli is a smart choice. I think Caselli feels like an evolution of Hitch. So I think in terms of vibe, it fits. But also, like, Hitch has been a machine this year, so I wouldn't be surprised if Hitch is going to be doing everything. Isn't Hitch working on like image stuff too? Yeah, like, geez, that guy's putting in work.
Do you guys want to read it if it's not Hitch?
Oh, I'm fine with reading it if it's not Hitch. Yeah.
So the art's fine, but not the writer?
Yes, because Hitch's style has changed. I mean, to me, Hitch doesn't feel the same as Hitch used to feel.
Hitch was different for the time, it was like a new thing to see Hitch art. It was like, whoa, look at this. But then, 20 years later, it hasn't changed. So that's not fair. That's not fair to say it hasn't changed, but it's no longer the new
it's
thing.
Not Mark Bagley.
Man, I was just about to say put Mark Bagley on Ultimate.
Yeah, keep him away.
You can't do hairstyles. You cannot do a modern hairstyle. But Spider-Man Life Story.
Yeah, you can't do a modern book.
Who else can be on that? Jeez. It's funny because, like, in terms of art that I like stuff like, like a Daniel Warren Johnson or James Herron and stuff like that. But like that is what like modern comic booky art feels like to me, or even like Leonardo Romero, which we'll talk about later. But that's like a more modern cartoony style. Like the idea of what modern comics looks like to me does not fit the Ultimate Universe in any shape or fashion in my head. Like all the artists I listed, I can't imagine them doing an Ultimates book,
Well, I mean, you have people like look at how they tap Pepe Larraz to curate the look and feel of the X books. in the Krakoan era. That's all it has to be. Like, there has to be somebody who, is talented enough and has vision enough to create a style and a look and feel for a whole universe.
Set the tone.
Right.
For me, the bigger question is, does Hickman stay?
Nah.
I don't know.
I don't think
I
so.
really I've felt burned from him leaving X-Men. I genuinely I don't blame him for going. But I can't imagine he sticks around. Like now I think I just have a picture of him being the guy that does something cool and then leaves.
Sets it all up and then here
He's
play
like
with
my dad.
toys.
And he's
Just
like,
kidding.
I'm gonna go grab some milk.
I guess to me, the biggest indicator that he won't be staying, and this is probably not accurate, but it's the fact that this is a one shot.
Yeah, that, and then Gods is happening, which Gods is the one that he's mentioned having a Bible for, quote unquote. Like, we've heard, they're like, the Hickman buzz for Gods feels like Hickman buzz. It feels like what Hoxpox was like. This seems so secondary to me that it almost feels like, you do something for us, you do Gods, where he's kicking this off maybe, and then other people will kind of take over. Even like there's even more traction on his Substack book. That thing that's hard to say, like GW or whatever.
Three Worlds, Three Moons.
Yeah, that thing, yeah. So I don't know. It doesn't compute to me to imagine Hickman on potentially 3 books at one time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have a hard time buying.
2 always seemed to be his limit in a way, like for it to be quality.
For it to be quality, for it to finish. And even then.
That too, yeah.
And even then it doesn't.
Like, his problems never is the book good. It's does it end? Like, does he get to finish it? I think Marvel uses Hickman now as a world builder.
Yeah.
That's
Architect.
I mean, I think that's probably his best strength. I think his writing is untouchable. But just in terms of like building out worlds that other people can then like do things in, they use them for that for the X-Men. We know that Gods is supposed to be expanding and probably quote unquote humanizing the more like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like esoteric, non-physical characteristics of the celestial beings at Marvel, making them more interactable and stuff like that. We know that. So I even think when it comes to Gods, it's more, okay, we need these characters to be characters that we can use as characters in the MCU and etc., not just as big bodies of, whatever floating in space. Can you do that? And I think that's what Hickman's doing there with Gods.
I think that's the priority for him at the moment, is especially if that's tying into MCU stuff. Hey, go play this little teaser out with Ultimate, and then just come right back. You got work to do.
Yeah, it's really, 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 really interesting. I don't think Hickman is going to be around for the long term, and so if he's not, who is? Who is Marvel going to conscript to be the drivers of this new MCU or this new Ultimate Universe? And I'm going to throw one out right away. Donny Cates.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Donny Cates. I know you're shaking your head, but here's the facts. Donny Cates was rumored as far back as 2019 to have been working on an Ultimate Universe book. CB Cebulski, we even talked about this the last time we talked about Ultimates. CB Cebulski refused to discuss the idea of Donny Cates specifically, but he did say that the Ultimate Universe is something that they're thinking about. At that time, it was 2019, so he said, in a year from now, it'll be the 20-year anniversary. If we were going to do something, it would probably be then. Obviously, we missed the time frame, but do I believe that Donny Cates was working on and cooking up a potential reborning of the Ultimate Universe? Yes. Do I also believe that then Hickman was now cooking with the X-Men and they were like, wait, we have something here. Maybe he should be the guy. Yes, I believe that too. So I think Donny Cates is next up, and I think he's writing Ultimates.
Based on the scuttlebutt and his personal life, I don't think Donny Cates is doing anything anytime soon.
I think you guys put way too much stock in that. The dude got divorced. That was a long time ago.
It hits people differently, Sean.
Dan.
He got to work. What do you
Lie.
mean? He has to earn money. That was a long time ago. You think he's just sitting at home, not going to earn money?
Well, he has money that he didn't give to the workers, you know.
Yeah.
He's got
My
plenty.
man did lose a comic book company not that long ago.
I just and just based on like the rumors in the background, like outside of that, I think he's gonna be gone for a little bit.
Well,
I mean, maybe
who
we get
else is
actual,
there,
maybe
though?
like a non-white dude on an Ultimates book.
Who?
Yeah. Like
Find
there's
someone,
nobody
you know?
there's nobody that's strong enough, you know, in the Marvel stable, you know, no one I would look at and go, oh, that's the guy.
Yeah, because the Marvel stable is now current DC.
Well, listen,
Like Kelly Thompson would have been a great
Ewing.
person to put on one of these books, but Kelly's doing some killer stuff, you know, and create her own space, you know, with the Cull coming up as well, and you know DC stuff. Like, I don't know, man.
I feel like I can see them calling Ewing, and honestly, who's that one dude? Groran Thurenbeck or something? What's his
Torrin
dude's name?
Grombeck?
She's
Yeah,
she
she's
is
good.
very talented. Yes.
Oh, that's a woman. I'm sorry.
Yes. Yeah, I think those are both great names who should be involved. Absolutely.
Matt throws a good one out there. Priest.
What?
I think Priest could work in the Ultimate Universe. Honestly,
I don't
I
not
love
not on
Priest,
a
though.
universe building book though.
No, and I think that's what Hickman. I think Hickman is doing the universe building, and everyone's going to get blueprints, and you know,
Yeah.
go from there. You know, I think this is a condensed Hoxpox in a way, where like Hoxpox
Yeah.
accidentally became that. Where I feel like this is purposely being that.
There's nothing wrong with obviously with Priest. But to be, you know, Tyler was talking about having a you know person of color on the Ultimates book. If you're going to get a Black or Spanish or Asian creator to spearhead something like that, they have to have a name that sells books by themselves.
Yeah.
And I don't think that there is a Black. I'll speak for Black. I don't think there's a Black writer whose name just sells books by themselves. I don't think that exists.
I mean,
Yo,
Coates has been gone for a while. You know, since Cap, I think Coates had a name for a bit.
Yeah.
And if the Ultimate is supposed to be as close to outside of our window as possible, I mean, nobody likes writing that. Then Ta-Nehisi Coates.
Something tells me he'd have a problem with Captain America.
I mean, he did when he wrote it.
Yeah. I mean, I think that there's a chance with this new universe that they might even try to do something radically different with these characters. Let's keep in mind that the Ultimate Universe featured, you know, a lot of variations in character. Captain America is obviously very different. Thor's, you know, different enough, although he kind of gets closer to the Thor we know as things go along. Colossus notably was gay. You know, there were several key differences in character that felt bold and new at the time in ways that, you know, if you made those same changes today, I mean, who cares? But what changes do you think they might make? Do you think this will be an opportunity for them to further diversify Marvel by saying a wild example, right? I'm not saying this is what I think will happen. The Iron Man under that costume was actually a Black dude. Tony Stark's Black in this world.
We should call him War Machine.
Do you think that?
Yeah, I was going to say that, Sean. Like, I think this is a good opportunity to be like, you know what? Race change, you know, gender change, everyone. like make what I would want is like literally like a new Ultimate Universe, like start from a somewhat ground level. If you want to anchor it with, the 3 big Ultimates characters or 4 with Miles, feel free. But like, I'd want to see like, I don't know, new characters in new ways. Like their Wolverine, the Ultimate Wolverine is probably the most complicated character in that world. Like solidify that for me, maybe give like, I don't know, like Ultimate Daredevil didn't do much, so like maybe something there. There's barely like an Ultimate Moon Knight. Like I think there's characters who maybe didn't really get that much of a shine in the Ultimate Universe that I think you could just reinvent, who are much bigger now in terms of like the public image. Like, is there an Ultimate She-Hulk? Like I don't even know at this point. So
I don't recall.
Ultimate Jack of Hearts. Let's just do something weird.
That's a good idea, because then you get to play with the remaining characters, because I'm assuming that since the Ultimate Universe was a bit more final with some of its characters, that you might not have the same sort of stable of just names to play with, and so you're gonna have to find your variations. You're gonna have to find those other characters should bring people into the fold. So I can definitely see that as like a possibility. But for the characters that are immediately recognizable, I don't think they're going to change, unless it is somebody that they're introducing that is new, or somebody that previously didn't get a spotlight.
There's no Ultimate Guardians of the Galaxy either. Like,
boom, right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with Marco there. I don't see it. I don't like, we said earlier, they're not brave enough to do something like that. They're not gonna, I don't think Marvel and thereby Disney is brave enough to take the, Superman's gay now headlines. And, they did once for Bendis. I don't think they'll do that again.
Even under the fact that this is an entirely, separate universe and isn't going to affect the 616 stuff, that's not going to matter. Yeah.
Not to Glenn Beck or whoever is Glenn Beck now. Like,
you know what they should do? They should make Nick Fury white.
Bro, I genuinely didn't know that he wasn't black until you guys told me.
Which is
like a week
hilarious. If they make Nick Fury black, I'm out. Or if they make him white, rather, I'm out.
We're done.
Freudian slip.
Yeah, I won't stand for whiteface.
I don't know, man. Like I actually love the Ultimate Universe. Maybe that's not coming across, but I do love it.
You're
obviously
a big
I have to facilitate
Ultimate Wanda and
conversation.
Pietro fan. I know.
Hell yeah. Are you kidding me? Listen, Jeff Loeb was onto something. Anyway,
sister.
Maybe. I love the Ultimate Universe. I really, really do. I don't know if Marvel is brave enough or scared enough to be bold enough to make this something truly special. And that's what it has to be to matter. Because it's not like the mainline universe just not selling and it's just dire straits. I mean, they're doing fine. They're Marvel Comics, right? Like they're on top. I don't know if they need this.
That's the thing. I just I don't even necessarily understand the experiment right now, because they've put so many ducks in the basket of making things consumable for new readers and everything. Even Marvel Unlimited. If you want to, you can read, Amazing Fantasy and get the origin of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's just, we're in a completely different world than when the Ultimates started. So I don't understand what they want to do.
Yeah. It's a big question of who is it for me,
Yeah.
I think there's only really 2 people it could be for. Ultimate Universe nostalgia people, or they redo the Ultimate Universe and it's a brand new, fresh on jumping point for anyone. I don't really see a middle ground that makes sense there.
Well, I agree with Top Lane. This defeats the purpose of the Ultimate line. This is not a new universe where you can start from zero.
Yeah.
What if the point of the Ultimate line was continuity light storytelling featuring top tier creators with characters you love in different ways? Then how does this service that if theoretically it's just going to be, back to what they were doing before the Ultimate Universe got removed? Maybe they'll restore aspects of it and not others.
Yeah.
We don't really know the details of all of that. I don't think it's nearly as compelling if it's not a fresh start.
And also, like, the ramifications of it. If they're bringing this back, that means that the what were they in Hickman's Avengers when the worlds would collide?
Yeah, the incursions.
Incursions. It kind of defeats the purpose of the incursions, and like, all right, what other worlds are coming back at this point?
Well, they did solve that at the end of Secret Wars, to be fair.
True. But yeah, it's just, I think if they want to be like, all right, this is pre-ultimatum, before things started really getting bad, maybe that's what it is. It's like trying to like catch it before the blob started eating the wasp,
But then, like, yeah, go ahead, Marco. You haven't gotten a word in.
I was just gonna say, I think that's a really good point. That the Ultimate Universe is supposed to be a continuity light experience, and now you're gonna restart it, and now I have to do all of my homework, but not for the mainline Marvel stuff. Now I gotta do it for this whole other fucking universe. Like, that feels like work. And at being somebody who likes to start at one or as close to one as I can, knowing that there is a place to start and it's only like 10, 15 years ago, more. Like, all right, it's better than 60, 70 years, but still, it's homework.
I almost feel like the opposite. I almost feel like when it's that far, when Amazing Fantasy is where I got to start for Spider-Man, I won't. I'll just jump in because it's too much. Where if it's like only 10 years, I'm like, well, I could probably read that.
Oh, I started like a few years back. I had gone to do the Spider-Man stuff, like just because I'm that anal for some of that stuff.
You started at literally Amazing Fantasy.
Yeah, and then I went into Spider-Man and all that stuff.
And you're like, never mind. I'm just gonna go back to Swamp Thing.
Let's talk about Miles real quick, because Miles Morales is the most important thing to come out of the Ultimate Universe, and
only thing to come out of the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah, and obviously now Miles is his own dude in the mainline Marvel universe and don't need no Ultimate Universe. How do you handle the character? Do you just say, hey, let's make him the ultimate Spider-Man? Is that the way you solve the problem of him feeling like Pete's little buddy? If you look at the Spider-Man game, he's Pete's little buddy. If you look at mainline Marvel, he's always like, oh, well, what would Peter do? And blah, blah, blah. Do you take him out of the Marvel universe, put him in Ultimate where he has to be on his own and get it done by himself? Or will there be or do you just reboot Miles in the Ultimate Universe and there will be one there and one in mainline?
I have a hot take on this, actually.
Shoot it.
I don't think Miles is the issue. I think Peter's the issue.
Yeah.
I say you get rid of Peter from the mainline Marvel Universe.
I gotta go. I gotta go.
I think the storytelling is much more rife for potential for Miles and in the main Marvel universe. Like it hasn't been tapped into in comics since Secret Wars, really.
We'll do that in Ultimate. Go. Bye.
I'm tired of Peter. I'm sorry. Like, have the Peter stories be. Put Peter in the Ultimate Universe. Everyone loves Ultimate Peter Parker. Let's bring that back. Run that back. Make Miles my Spider-Man. That's how I feel. Man, I'm gonna get roasted on TikTok for this. Well, I'm editing it, so
it's what we've talked about before. Peter Parker in the mainline universe needs to level up.
Yeah, agreed.
You can't keep resetting Peter Parker so he's a broke college student every 5 minutes. That's why they can't get Miles off the ground, is because Peter's always going to be Peter.
Yeah.
Okay, so Tyler's wacky suggestion aside,
I will actually tag on to
Here.
the words of what Tyler said, because as Top Lane points out, they resurrected Ultimate Peter Parker in the Ultimate Universe.
Sure.
So what are we gonna do?
We kill off Peter Parker in the new Miss Marvel series.
An Ultimate Miss Marvel.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a character that could become the Ultimate Universe.
Oh.
I think that sending Miles back would be admitting defeat.
Yeah.
But it's all about the result. If the result is that it's a great Miles story and all of a sudden this character feels like a big deal, he's maybe on the Ultimates, he's the Spider-Man, right? And he gets to be that, and you get to tell unique stories with the character where he grows, changes, and evolves. The result will be that people will love it because the quality was there. But if they send Miles back to the Ultimate Universe and he's just a dude, then people will take it as a defeat, and that might actually kill Miles off in terms of people's interest in him in comics.
But wouldn't you get that regardless? Like, you could be like, oh, he's back, and you're telling really good stories with him, and his characters are growing, and the world is being built. But it's just Ultimate Spider-Man. Like, what does that matter?
I think there might be an opportunity to maybe make his, like, if they say they do bring Miles back to the Ultimate Universe, he's back to Ultimate Spider-Man. What if there's an Ultimate Gwen there? What if you kind of take the Prowler, make that prominent as well? Like, what do you take the parts people like about the Spider-Verse Miles, the one that's probably the most well known, even more than the comic version, and you make that what the Ultimate Universe is about for Miles, and then he could jump back and forth whenever he wants because it's Spider-Verse-y, but
right. I honestly, I think I wouldn't put it past Marvel to do this. I don't think it's inherently a bad idea. I don't know that I want to see it. I want them to do more with Miles in mainline comics, but quite frankly, when you see, the creative team that Peter has, and you see the creative team that Miles has, that it's never going to be equal. And so maybe the best solution is to get them away from each other. Because quite frankly, the experiment has not worked. It's been a failure.
And also, it might be a way to fix the Spider-Gwen issue, too. Like if she's Ultimate Spider-Woman now, you don't have to call her friggin' Ghost Spider or whatever.
Ugh. Right. Yeah. Let's hit some comments because obviously people have a lot to say about this. So let's see. Atomic Hound says, will Marvel do something different in terms of digital or marketing? I could see them doing digital first, or not digital first, but digital day and date for the Ultimates line.
Nah, I don't see that. That's too much, even for this big of a thing.
What if instead of doing digital day and date, they do Marvel Unlimited day and date? So if you have a subscription, you can get that day and date. If you don't, you'd have to buy the same, whatchamacallit?
Well, if they do that, then how many titles is this going to be? Because if they do that, I'm paying $8.99 for one title.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, who knows? I mean, but you get more. Wait, Kale, are you saying the $8.99 is the subscription?
Yeah.
Because you probably use Marvel Unlimited for more than just that. So that would be like a bonus for you, the same way that like with major huge titles, they release them day and date on there. Like I think Avengers 1 was day and date. I'm not 100% sure, but
yeah.
So the same way they do that in a limited basis now, I'm just applying that to the entire Ultimates line, which I would imagine would be between 3 to 5 books.
Yeah.
It'd be cost effective if so. Worth the subscription.
What do you maybe this derails things a bit, but what do you think those 3 or 5 books could be? Like, what do you think they launch with?
Iron Man, Cap, Spider-Man.
Boy, tell somebody never read the fucking Ultimate Universe.
Huh?
Let's do it. Ultimates,
Ultimates for
Yep.
sure. Ultimate Spider-Man probably.
Spider-Man,
Yeah.
X-Men.
Uh,
Yeah.
No?
how could you not? Like,
I think you could not because Ultimate X-Men is confusing, and I think they know that.
but this would be the perfect point to reboot it.
Sure. Or a perfect point to like save that for like wave 2 or something, you know?
I think they have to do. I think they have to do something a little weird. Like I like the Moon Knight idea, whether it's Moon Knight, whether it's Miss Marvel, someone who didn't really have a presence in the Ultimate Universe. I think one of the books featuring a character like that would be a great idea.
Blade.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a Maker book, you know, but not Fantastic Four. Like, could it be like Ultimate
Right.
Illuminati or something? Because I think
Yeah,
the Maker is being set up as like he's number 2 next to Miles.
Right.
And he's kind of Sean, maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but this the way they've been writing the Maker lately almost feel like he's in the middle of a turn.
Yeah, the way that
Right?
the way this whole thing's being framed, it feels as though his desperation to bring the Ultimate Universe back is not to do anything like that.
Yeah, it's to
I feel
go
like
back
he almost
home.
wants another chance.
Yeah, I feel a face turn coming, and maybe
Like
that's how. Yeah, but
Like he just wants to go home type thing. Like it just hasn't really worked out in 616. He's like, you know what? I'm not going to do this anymore. Let me go back.
they got me
please."
relegated to Venom books. Come on.
Right. But I do agree with you on that. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. So I think he gets a book somehow.
And that could be an interesting way to like explore the new Ultimate Universe.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
have him get reacquainted because he's a character that can travel, you know.
Mhm.
I wouldn't be surprised if Ultimate Nick Fury gets a book, especially with the prominence of Sam Jackson's Nick Fury and Secret Invasion and stuff. Like, there's your diverse book too. You know.
I like, yeah, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, Murphy pointed that out, that, you know, that's the other carryover. But I feel like that got so mixed in because of Sam Jackson. It just like, it doesn't feel ultimate anymore. It just kind of feels like the way it is.
It's not even the same character though. It's a very confusing backstory for that one.
Kenosha Kid says, my comic reading group read the entire Ultimate Universe from start to finish last year, so we are hyped for this. That's pretty cool.
That's cool. You got a comic reading group, like a book club.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I wish we had one. Damn.
Yeah, I wish I had friends that read comics that I did a podcast with and talked about comics every single week, multiple
I wish
times a
we
week.
would do book club
Hey,
That'd be
monthly or
nice.
something.
Actually, who was it? I think it was it not Top Lane? It was I'm sorry, I can't remember, but someone had put in our Discord server an exhaustive list of the Ultimate line. In terms of like the reading order. This was tremendous. I don't know if this was like their work that they like, this is just what they put together, how they read this, but this was an exhaustive list. It's a tremendous list. Shit, man, you made me want to read it in this order, and I already read this stuff.
Yeah.
So hopefully he hears it.
Oh yeah, that was Top Lane.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Didn't they bring? Am I wrong on this? Did they bring Ultimate Wolverine's son to the main line? 616.
I don't recall that, and I hope that didn't happen, but it could
Like
have.
it happened in X-Men Gold.
I don't recall.
Feel like I remember there being a blonde Wolverine.
Yeah.
Back then.
I'll look that up.
Aaron Ruiz earlier on the artist conversation said Pepe Larraz, Patrick Gleason is a name that I thought would be really strong to do a modern take on something. Spider-Man would be great. I think Ultimates would be really good too.
Yeah. Like I think Pepe Larraz would be tremendous. Obviously, it feels like they just used him in a similar role, but should he have a position? I think so. I mean, I to be honest, I see a lot of DNA between his work and some Ultimate stuff. So I don't
Yeah.
feel like it's out of bounds. Uh, let's see. Kushik Raja said, to be fair, I would like it if the Avengers changed their name to the Ultimates. Shows their revolution from Avengers to the ultimate best version of themselves. Also, can't wait for racist Cap. All right. Well, I get your point about the Ultimates, and I think based on the current run on the Avengers and Carol Danvers' little speech in issue 1, they should be the Ultimates because based on her logic, they're not Avengers; they are the Ultimates. So, yeah, I agree with that. And then can't wait for Racist Cap. Yeah, me too. It was a great ride.
Racist.
Yeah,
Cap.
so he was on the Young X-Men. Jimmy Hudson is still in the main 616. Apparently, he is
Scary,
bonded to a poison symbiote. Remember those poison ones?
scary thought.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have long to wait before we get into the Ultimate Invasion because that's going to be starting June 21st. So just 2 new comic book days away
Oh wow. Okay.
Damn.
from seeing, what this is going to be. And then the actual line relaunch proper begins in September with Ultimate Universe #1. So it's imminent.
I will say I'm excited. I don't know what's gonna happen, and I don't know what happens after it, but I'm at least excited to get a taste of it again.
I'm excited too.
I'm cautiously optimistic.
That's
It's basically
baseline.
excited for Kale.
Yeah,
It could be good.
could be good.
Could
Classic
be.
catchphrase.
Oh man. All right. So we're gonna move along. Share your thoughts with us if you want to continue to about the Ultimate Universe. And if you're doing your rereads, if that's what you're into right now, join our Discord server because, like we said, one of our own members posted an exhaustive, incredible reading order for the Ultimate line. It makes perfect sense to me at a glance, having read this stuff. So I would say, yeah, if you're gonna do your reread, check out this reading order list for sure. So I have a question in the spirit of this topic, and I'm resurrecting. Speaking of resurrections, I'm resurrecting an old segment we used to do here called Buy or Sell.
Oh, you scared me.
What did you think it was gonna be?
Same.
I was worried I was gonna hear Pete from the fucking across the pond.
I thought we were
I
gonna
was
get a
ready to
Canadian
duck and
Wolverine
cover.
appearance.
So the buy or sell that we're doing this week is very simple. Spider-Man, Peter Parker, 616, or Ultimate Spider-Man, Peter Parker, whatever that number designation is. Now, let me clarify this question. I'm not asking you who would win in a fight or anything like that. I'm asking you, thinking about only the stories that have been told. Peter's story in the Ultimate Universe is complete. We see him live and die.
And live again.
And live again, but let's not just mainline Peter, obviously, still, bumping around some 60 plus years later, or whatever. Which one do you prefer? The complete story of Ultimate Peter or the ongoing story of mainline Peter?
I liked when Spider-Man was in high school. That was easy and simple. I like that shit. That was so the OG stuff.
Which one? He got bullied in both, though.
Yeah,
He was in high
but I
school in
mean,
both.
still pretty good. Like that was good storytelling. It was by like every week a new sort of problem, a new villain. It was lighthearted. That
Wait.
not Ultimate Pete. So the other one.
Oh, okay. Because you
Mainline.
were describing both of them at the same
No,
time.
sorry, mainline, mainline, but like 60s Spider-Man.
Okay. Interesting.
You know what? That cemented it for me. I'm gonna say Ultimate. I agree with Marco. The high school stuff is really compelling, and I think that's high school, college age is when Spider-Man is like ideal. But the way Bendis wrote it at the time, like he went as far as even to explore like when Spider-Man's uniform gets torn up, how does he get a new one? You know? And that was like fascinating for me as a, as a high schooler. How would I pull that off if I were Spider-Man? Like, I had no fucking idea. I'm not crazy about the way the life and death happened, especially the death, but I like that it's a full story. I'm gonna go with Ultimate.
So for me, I'll be honest, I did not read Ultimate Spider-Man until post Ultimatum when it got rebooted with like I think David Marquez on art.
Yeah.
Which is because it's because I was a David Marquez fan. I was like, hell yeah, more David Marquez. Which let's get more going forward as well. So I don't have much of a grip on Ultimate Peter Parker. I do like Miles a lot, but I have to go with 616 Peter, because without 616 Peter, we would not have my favorite modern interpretation of Spider-Man, which is Superior Spider-Man.
So you're buying on 616.
I'm buying on 616 just so I still have that Superior Spider-Man chunk, which is probably one of my favorite runs. So
This is tough. And I've read, a lot of. Go ahead, Ty.
clarification: if I don't pick Ultimate, does this mean Miles never exists?
Yeah.
Yeah, you sold.
Man, that's like that. That's like those people going to people in Walmart being like NASCAR. You got to get rid of one NASCAR Black History Month, and I'm like, shit,
Yeah, Tyler basically just admitted that diversity isn't as important to him as a villainous, white dude getting superpowers and taking over as Spider-Man. So he'd rather Doc Ock as Spider-Man than Miles. That's real nice, Ty. So I love the early mainline 616 Spider-Man stories. Those are incredible. They're so much fun. If you've never read them, I mean, they're of their time in a lot of ways, but there's a magic to those books that I think hasn't really been matched except for Ultimate Spider-Man, which does what Stan and everybody else was trying to do at that time in those first 20 years. But I kind of think Bendis does it better.
Bendis did what they thought they were doing.
Right. And it's trust and believe, I know it's not a fair comparison. Yeah. Bendis had the ability to look at those books and look at the totality of Peter and go, what do we need? What can we get rid of? And how can we retell almost those stories with a modern flair? That's what made it so special. But for me, nothing has happened to Peter in the last 20 years of storytelling that I've been reading mainline Marvel that compares in my interest to Ultimate Spider-Man. So for me, as tough as this is, I'm buying on Ultimate Spider-Man. I hate to say it, but I am.
We're split down the middle then.
I didn't think I was going to do that. But that's my answer.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
As someone who hasn't read Ultimate Spider-Man, does this still hold up? Can anyone answer that?
I haven't gone back in a while, but I have a very difficult time imagining that it wouldn't. Those stories feel almost evergreen. I know what that sounds like, especially you're talking about comics, but if you can handle the Bendis speak, which wasn't nearly as egregious as it is now back then, and it also felt like it fit in that book.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
If you can handle that, I don't think there's any reason why you wouldn't be able to enjoy those books now.
It's the Bagley art you have to really contend with.
And even then, that was Bagley better, than he is now, I think.
And he's
Yeah.
been.
He still can't draw clothes, but for a
He
superhero,
draws
outfit,
clothes
that
like people are still in the 70s. It's great.
man.
Yo, Ultimate Paul. Yes. Yes, absolutely. If you're going to do anything, we need Ultimate Paul. 100%.
We got the Ultimate Clone Saga already. Let's get Ultimate Cuck Saga. Let's go.
Oh man, that's too much. You guys are great. All right. So we have an announcement to make. I want to say thank you to everybody that is watching us live on Twitch. You guys are wonderful. Twitch is the place that we started going live when we started going live a year ago. And you guys have been super loyal and super supportive. However, with the recent announcements that Twitch has made to the changes in their terms of service and their affiliate agreement, it makes it very difficult to be a multi-streamer, which we are because we have a lot of people that are very loyal to us that watch us faithfully on YouTube as well. And it feels like now is the time to jump off the board with Twitch. Twitch does not have discoverability. I know that some of you have found us through Twitch, but unfortunately, the discoverability comparison between Twitch and YouTube is just astronomical. And, in a lot of ways, YouTube feels like our home. All of our stuff is hosted there. And, quite frankly, I don't want us to be locked into only being allowed to stream on Twitch, or suffer whatever crazy penalties they feel like they want to impose. It doesn't feel like it's pro streamer at all. And so we are announcing today that we will be leaving Twitch. So probably within the next couple of weeks, we'll make a more formal announcement, but we are going to be jumping off Twitch. Hopefully, and I believe this to be the case, you guys are going to just join us on YouTube. There's no real reason for you to not. It's essentially the same thing. Twitch has a great interface, and I know a lot of people love it, and I love it, and it's great for the places that it works, but I just don't think it makes sense for us. We collectively don't think it makes sense for us. So we are going to be jumping off of Twitch here soon. Not a kick announcement. Not a kick announcement. Kick gives me weird vibes, quite frankly.
Not a big Aiden Ross streamer fan there, Sean?
I don't even know who that is.
That's good. That's a great sign. That means you're a good person.
And honestly, a huge reason for this too is we want to merge the families. Like, I want the Twitch family and the YouTube family to be able to interact when we're live. You guys don't even see what you're saying what you're saying. Like, we're responding to the group on YouTube and we're responding to the group on Twitch. So just being able to integrate and get everybody together, I think will be a lot of fun. So it's frankly, in my mind, a win for you guys. And I think it just makes things a little bit easier on our end. So that's what we're going to be doing.
It's like our own incursion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Top Lane says, I don't like YouTube people. They too happy. Top Lane, loving the toxicity of Twitch. I get it.
That is the first time I've heard of YouTube people being described that way.
I know. I feel like our douche comments have come from YouTube, actually.
You getting spoiled for the Miss Marvel
Literally
thing?
everything.
Yeah. So
not the live
hopefully
stream, but it's like the randos that show up in the comments. Yeah, live stream YouTube people, you're great.
Are the people that watch this show and are good to us, you guys are great. So yeah, that's the announcement. Hopefully you guys understand and you will join us over on YouTube when we do finally go dark on Twitch. Don't want to lose anybody in the transition, but we got to do this. It's just the best decision for us. So hopefully you guys join us for that. Hopefully you also join us on patreon.com/thecomicspals, where we have so many things on offer. If you support us, we want to support you right back and give you something for that support. So on Patreon, of course, you do get access to our newsletters, one a week from one of us, every single week. We haven't missed a single week, which is pretty impressive. You get access to an exclusive show called Palling Around, where we talk about whatever we feel like talking about, whether it's the internet, whether it's cryptids, whether it's conspiracy theories, whether it's Tyler's bathroom habits. I don't even know if we talked about that on there.
Not yet, at least.
But it could happen. It probably will, all that stuff is happening on Patreon. Also, you get a nickname and a shout out on this very show. So I want to say a special shout out to the best pals in the universe, Thunderstruck Rebecca Alejandro, and the Hound of Justice, Atomic Hound. And of course, thank you to the Night Stalker, Harris Dajinski, Brian Demolisher Del Pozo, Kefis the Incorruptible, Momentum Mike Elliott, Starcross Catherine Stars, Dan the Truth Trudeau, Joel Justice, and Jalen the Sanguine Sorcerer. You guys are all rock stars, and we love you. Thank you so much for the support. You also get to vote in our book club poll, and we've got an interesting one up. So if you haven't voted and you are vote eligible, head on over there and do that. I want Tokyo Ghost to win. Of course, it's my pick. I promised I'd put it up. You should vote for that. However, I will admit that a lot of people seem to want us to read Powers.
Really? Oh.
Yeah, it's winning. Last I checked.
Let's go.
Man, you don't even.
That's wild.
All the only
Bendis
Bendis shit that I've read.
The only Powers I've ever read was their appearance in Donny Cates's crossover comic.
That was funny. And that was done very well, too.
Dude, that crossover underrated.
Marco, did you watch the show?
No, it was on PlayStation Network.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was.
No.
And it was hard to get to. But it was really good, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
I'm going to try to see if I can find it.
Perry says, gonna have to find a new place to dump my Switch Prime. That makes me sad.
I just saw a Perry, if this is your thing, I just saw a stream with two girls doing jumping jacks in the shower.
Oh.
I don't know what that's about, and I don't know how it's in my algorithm. I swear.
Yours or the Comics Pals one?
Oh, I must be on the Comics Pals.
Uh-oh.
Yikes. Yikes.
Yeah, Tyler.
Caught me.
But yeah, so there is a place for it.
Hey, listen, I mean,
I will be saying our Twitch is not going away because I will start doing jumping jack streams separate to the actual show, just not content, just added.
Yeah, so you can give your Prime sub to Tyler as he's bouncing his breasts on screen.
I mean, they're slowly going away, just going south a bit. That's all.
Tyler and Marco could do a hot tub stream.
Easy.
Oh my God.
I know what Marco's about. I don't feel safe there.
You could trust me, Tyler.
Oh my goodness. Kenosha Kid says Rick Remender would be cool on a new Ultimate Universe title. If Rick Remender did an Ultimate Universe title, I don't know if I'd even be able to handle that. That's like the greatest announcement that they could possibly make. But I honestly think there's a better chance of Donald Trump writing a book for the Ultimate Universe than Rick Remender at this point. That dude does not want a thing to do with Marvel or DC.
You know how I feel if Rick Remender came back to Marvel? That's what I would feel.
That's what would happen to me too. I would moan, a dog would bark for some reason, and then
I'd go full feral.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
All those sounds were Tyler.
Yep. That one.
And then you would fart?
Hey, I'm just saying, sometimes the body just does what the body wants, a little involuntary.
It do what it do.
Unreal. Also, I wanted to shout out the listener poll, which of course is the way that you guys can get your voice heard on Pals Polls, which is live this Wednesday at 6 p.m. Eastern. We are going to be viewing The Flash and things like that on Thursday. So we will be pushing Pals Polls up a day so that we can get those reviews out for you all. So the listener poll's up on Twitter, and you guys can vote for which book you want to see slotted into the show. Head out on over there and cast your vote. Can someone tell me what is winning the poll right now.
So
Last
currently,
I saw it was Green Lantern.
it is Green Lantern. Yeah,
Yeah.
41% of the vote with X-Men Red number 12 right behind it. So
Yeah. So if you want us to read Green Lantern, go vote for it. If you don't, you definitely want to go vote for it because it's winning right now.
there's a new Black Panther out too. So if you guys...
Yeah. Yeah, lots of good stuff.
Much rather read X-Men Red. Come on.
The thing is, I'd much rather read X-Men Red because it wouldn't be extra for me. I'm already reading it. So
Yeah.
You're not reading Green Lantern?
I haven't got to issue 1. I missed that episode, and if I miss an episode with a number 1, it's on the back burner. So
Yeah,
I'll catch
I
up
feel
if it
you.
wins though.
Damn, no love for Spider-Man India, huh?
I watched his universe die. I'm good.
Oh.
He's dead to me. Let's jump into the listener comments.
Yeah, that's my cue.
Mhm.
So first one, Sanji on the Rom V interview. He said, I can listen to Rom for hours. Someone needs to get Grant and Rom on camera together so I can just hear them discuss literally anything. Oh boy.
That'd be wild.
I might not survive that, but I want to be there.
I'm not sure cameras and microphones could accurately pick that up.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that they would either. That's like, it's not my absolute dream combo, but it's up there. I think my dream combo is probably Grant and Hickman, only because the way that they think is like a mystery to me. Like the way that Grant thinks, I think, is a mystery to Grant's creator. But like Hickman's like world building and the way that he's able to balance extreme world building with incredible character development and character moments. I mean, my God, it's mastery.
Hickman versus Morrison is like the difference between science versus magic.
Yeah, I was gonna say that shit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would love to see a show that was sort of like, like Hollywood Reporter does, like actors where they just are sitting to each other and they just talk like one-on-one. I think they have one coming up with like Diego Luna and Hayden Christensen, just talking.
Oh,
They have a whole
that's kinda
series throughout
neat.
the summer. I would love that for
Yeah.
comic creators, just to have those weird combos come up and talk about that. But
Yeah.
Dan Trudeau had a question on our discussion of Amazing Spider-Man. And Sean gave me a big one. He said, the Spider-Man story has got me thinking about why I haven't been able to drum up any interest in the character's monthly book in decades. I think it comes back to the soap opera thing Kale keeps mentioning. Superhero books and soap operas do have a lot in common, but what typically separates them is that superhero stories are about something. Soap operas don't have themes, outside of maybe people are terrible. Superhero stories, on the other hand, represent real-life themes. Spider-Man was about growing up, and once he did, his story stopped being about anything. Now his comics are really soap operas, introducing endless complications to prevent him from moving forward. So his now meaningless story keeps going forward. And it's not like anything will change as long as Spider-Man fans keep buying it, putting the book at number 1.
Scathing.
Sean, do you consider Dawson's Creek a soap opera?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I guess it's technically not, and I'm sure Kale will correct me, but technically it's not, right? Like what a soap opera is, in my mind, is a show that's nearly endless. That's very, very only about the drama between those people and the soapiness, which Dawson's Creek is that, and all those kind of teen dramas are that, but they end and
And
they're
soap
very
operas-
steeped in continuity. Like,
Mhm.
And soap operas are written in a way that you don't need to really be watching to understand what's going on.
yeah.
Yeah, soap operas are called soap operas because they would literally put soap ads in the middle of these shows, and that was their whole vehicle for selling soap. Is that housewives would watch this while doing the washing or the ironing or whatever, and you don't have to watch it. So yeah, I think I think Dawson's Creek might be a little too prestige for soap operas. And I think to a point, I agree with Dan. I think he's being a little harsh on soap operas, but I think I think yeah, I think he's right. I think I like I don't know what the theme of an ongoing Spider-Man book is anymore.
I think it's so one dimensional. The theme is just like, yo, I'm struggling. Like that's the Peter Parker story, I think. And everyone has to write it that way. But even like I think Spider-Man is a good representation of like what a comic book soap opera would be, because it's bi-weekly, so it does reiterate a lot of stuff like a soap opera would, because it comes out so much. Because there's no really weekly title right now that I think would do that otherwise. But yeah, that's why I'm all on the Miles boat. I'm tired of it.
I don't agree. And Dan and I kind of went back and forth, and Dan actually wanted to not he wanted to come back and say that he didn't mean to sound as mean about like Spider-Man fans as he might have come across. But I don't think that there's anything too different about Spider-Man stories than Batman's in terms of how stuck they are in whatever you want to say they're stuck in, like what's dramatically different about Batman since 80 something, like
I would make that same argument about Batman.
yeah, I think the more popular the character is,
Yep.
the more they're stuck in whatever they've been doing whenever they were most popular. And I think Spider-Man gets an undue amount of that kind of criticism because people very specifically want to see him grow up, because they started reading him when he was a kid. And I don't think that that's fair. In the sense, I mean, you can say whatever you want. You can have any opinion you want. I don't think it's fair to criticize only Peter and not acknowledge that as a problem or a symptom of the nature of comics. If you like that, then great. If you don't, then that's always going to be a problem for you. And I don't think that it would be less of a problem if you were reading Batman or Superman before the last couple of years. Like, all their stories tend to kind of be the same. And you could make the argument, well, Batman has a kid now, but he's had kids his whole life. They just weren't biological. So Damian is an extension of the Robin idea, except that he's genetically linked to Batman. That's not a huge leap.
The higher selling the solo character, the less likely there is for change. That's why like we got Immortal Hulk. Like Hulk didn't really sell that well for a while. So it was like, all right, let's do something risky with them because they can afford that. Can't really do that with Batman or Spider-Man. Those are like the big two for each company, really. And even Superman was able to do it a little bit once John came about. But since then, it's just like, no, that's the status quo now.
Right.
But to be fair, though, like even with Superman, like they're trying to change that with the whole family dynamic.
Sure.
I think there is still wiggle room with Superman.
And I think the praise for the Superman books has largely been about the fact that it actually feels like it's moving on.
Yeah.
So, that's an anomaly in my opinion, not a norm in comics.
I almost think that's because Superman is Superman and he has the longest history out of everyone, that it was forced to change because it was stagnant too long.
People were done.
Yeah. I wonder if we get there with Peter eventually. I mean, based on the reaction to the Zeb Wells run, we might be there sooner rather than later.
Hey, money talks.
Yeah.
26 is going to be number 1. And 27 probably will be too. So, all right. You guys want to have a little fun?
Nope.
Hell yeah, brother.
No. All right. Well, I guess we'll just move on. And
yes.
Next slide.
The next slide ruins
well, the next slide is the fun.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Because the next slide represents the draft we are going to do now. And it's the X-Men draft. So, for those of you who missed the draft, the way we play is very simple. Each one of us is responsible for drafting a team of, in this case, X characters. We can only choose characters who are X-Men who have the mutant gene and have been a part of the X-Men. So that is the rule. You draft your team, and the audience, the listeners, will tell us who won. What are the metrics of winning? Whatever they feel like. The best overall team, which team would win in a fight, whatever it is that you think is appropriate, that'll be the metric.
What's that? Geez, what's that game show where the points don't matter?
Who's lying?
Who's
Who's
lying?
lying? Yeah, that's kind of what this feels like.
That's such a good show.
Matt says drafting marginalized people sus.
Well, you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to pull out my handy dandy X-Men
Oh, you
dice,
got matching
as you
dice
can
finally.
see.
All right.
Yes, I have X-Men dice. And so what we're going to do, I have to remove various paraphernalia from the view of the camera. But with that being said, I'm going to roll these dice, and
I know that's
we're
setup.
going to determine who goes first, the order. So here we go.
Hand check.
You can hear me rolling. All right, so that'll be for, I forgot to say who I was rolling for. That's Kale. That's an 8.
Fuck.
So it'll be an 8 for Kale. That's pretty good.
He doesn't want to go first.
Okay. I go first then. Okay.
Yeah, this is Tyler.
Okay.
A 4.
Yeah, it tracks for me.
All right, this is Marco. A 6.
Mm,
And for myself,
Hey guys.
a 10.
bullshit.
Again.
I didn't rig it. You saw me roll. So
Wait,
it'll be me, Kale, Tyler,
No,
and
no,
then Marco.
I go last.
Okay.
That was for the order. Okay.
Yeah. That was for the order.
It's initiative, Cal. That's we rolled for initiative there.
Yes.
That's why
So-
I'm confused.
So me, Kale, Marco, Tyler.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Tyler sounds so defeated.
The second time in a row. Third time, actually.
I'm so sorry. All right. My first pick is obvious. I am going to pick Jean Grey.
Oh, wow, that's actually not who I thought you were going to go with
I
first.
mean, it was a toss up for me, but yeah.
How many are we doing?
Oh yeah, good point. Let's do 5.
Okay.
You're up, Cal.
Kale's up.
Oh, sorry. Cyclops.
Yep. Marco.
Beast.
All right.
All right, I'll do it just because I don't want you guys having it. I'll take Magneto.
Okay.
Oh, are these characters? I wasn't here for the last draft. Are these characters not available to us now?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Oh,
you don't have
fuck.
access to those. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
You
Yeah.
guys,
Yeah.
You guys have already wiped out my list.
And Tyler, you took Magneto.
Yep.
All right. So then I will take Professor Xavier.
Catherine Pride.
Ooh,
Hate Pride.
Magic.
good one.
You weirdos. I'm taking Wolverine.
It's a great pick. I'm going to pick. I don't know how he made it this far, but he counts. I'm going with the big boy, picking Apocalypse.
Whoa.
Mm,
Sean always picks the team that's like, when you're like arguing on the playground and like,
My man plays to win.
yeah.
100%. You should have seen me yesterday at locals. Anyway, who? Kale's up.
Nightcrawler.
All right.
damn. Cypher.
Okay.
Storm.
Such a Marco ass pick.
Damn.
That was my next one.
Damn. All right. I will submit to this not being a fair pick. If you guys say that I cannot choose this character, I'll submit to it.
Okay.
Scarlet Witch.
No.
That doesn't feel right.
What's the canon now? Is
She's
she
an-
mutant or isn't
she's
she?
a high
But-
evolutionary experiment.
But has she been in X-Men?
Yes. But now she's technically not a mutant.
I don't think she's ever been an X-Man though.
I
like a
think,
member.
well, the criteria was the mutant gene.
Fair.
No,
They have-
criteria was
they-
had to be X-Men, right?
They have to have the mutant gene, and they have to have been an X person at some point.
Okay, then no. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Okay. All right, cool. Fair enough. So then I will have to choose. I will go with Cable. Or no, Hope. I'll go with Hope.
Man, you having double gingers on Sean's team. Jeez.
Hell yeah. Tails up.
He's thinking. The gears are grinding. I'm gonna say Legion.
Why are you throwing names out there? What kind of game is this?
I'm throwing names out there I don't want.
Legion. No, I'm not gonna do that. You know what? Cable really spoke to me. I'm gonna go with Cable.
God damn it. There you go. All right,
Just
cool.
ruined Sean's daddy-daughter dynamic there. Jeez.
What?
Sorry?
Daddy-daughter-mother dynamic there. Jeez, that's a...
Marco, please go.
So I'm picking Havoc.
Nice.
I'm gonna
Tyler.
go with Mystique.
Ooh. I got a good one.
Oh, Mystique's good.
Mystique,
Damn.
okay. Iceman
Hmm.
for my last pick.
My last pick is gonna be Forge.
Nice.
Fuck. Damn it. All right. That was literally gonna be a person. Rogue.
Damn,
Rogue?
That was gonna be mine.
That's a fucking good pick. God
Yeah.
damn, there's so many good X-Men.
All right, I get last pick, huh? All this power. Man, all
Globberman.
this power, and I want to pick something fucking dumb. Shit. I'm gonna throw a weird one out there.
Toad.
Man, I'm stuck between two right now. All right, I'll just pick it. I'll just pick it. Phantom X. Putting Phantom X on my team.
Mm.
Huh. All right. That's interesting.
I was stuck between Phantom X and Armor. Those are my two. But I'm gonna go with Phantom.
All right. So that puts the teams at mine being Jean, Professor Xavier, Apocalypse, Hope, and Iceman. Tails is Cyclops, Kitty Pryde, Nightcrawler, Cable, and Forge. Marco's is Beast, Magic, Cypher, Havoc, and Rogue. And Tyler's is Magneto, Wolverine, Storm, Mystique, and Phantom X.
Bro, Sean got all the Omega level mutants. Like,
Now I got two of them.
but Sean, your team is purely composed of Omega level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is Apocalypse
Yeah, it's
considered
like we said,
Omega?
Sean plays to win.
I don't know if he's I've never seen that explicitly stated, Tyler,
Yeah,
but I mean it
But
just
he's
What,
as
Apocalypse?
close
Stands
as
to
you can get
reason.
in terms of power set. Yeah.
yeah.
Is he not?
I've never I can't think of seeing those words said like Apocalypse is an Omega level mutant, but in my mind, certainly I would imagine he
Correct
is.
me if I'm wrong. Omega is like their power set has no
Upper limit.
upper limit, right?
Yeah. So maybe his does.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, who won? Audience, let us know.
Hefis says me.
Okay. I see Atomic Hound says Tyler wins.
Hell yeah, brother.
Aaron
Tyler.
Ruiz,
Yeah.
Tyler, it's looking Tylerish.
I had to get Magneto and Wolverine, so Wolverine's one weakness is gone.
Yeah.
Manny asked, do the teams even work together? Is that objective getting done? It's up to you whether or not. If that's a criteria for you, then vote that way.
So the way I'm looking at this is Sean's feels like X-Men. Kale's feels like an X Factor.
I was gonna say like a Marauders.
Oh yeah, I guess so.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I feel like mine's a little X-Forcey in a way, and I don't know what the fuck Marco's is. Marco just picked like the bench warmers on the monthly baseball game.
I feel like they got to complete a mission. You got to have people to translate. Someone super smart. Somebody with
I like how, in
blasters.
terms of X-Men missions, you prioritize translation.
Yeah, what if you got a he comes package deal with Warlock?
I guess in current continuity, he does. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, we're getting quite a few votes. It's kind of hard to track,
Pretty spread, yeah.
but it's fairly spread.
Well, maybe not for me, but
Well, I mean, but look at who you picked.
Marco's team
I
is
can't
fallen
actually go ahead.
Aaron says Marco's team is fallen angels.
Hey, I like
It's
that.
more like it's like you got like X Core.
Oh man.
Emma.
I'm feeling like it's Tyler that won. I don't know. I just feel like I'm seeing a lot of Tyler. I'm not sure.
Man, I was last. Look at that.
I'll do the official count if you want to.
Yeah. Update us with that answer in a little bit because you know, who picked Wolverine? Tyler picked Wolverine, right?
Yeah.
Tyler picked Wolverine, which means that Tyler's probably really excited for Marvel to unleash Wolverine in a battle with an enemy we've never seen him face before. The Predator.
Oh, the Chris Hansen show? Wolverine, have a seat.
Oh no.
So you like to rescue young girls.
And how old are you?
And you mentor them? What does that mentorship look like?
Stop.
When our
You were on the run with a young girl and you were photographed with her.
Wolverine knows Canadian consent law. Big libertarian, that Wolverine.
Oh man, all right. So
I got sorry.
Go ahead.
So the official update is, by my count, it looks like Sean and Tyler are actually tied.
Hey, high five. I wish there was a prize, but there isn't.
Great
Nope.
big fat
Tactical
goose
Marvel, no.
egg.
That's crazy that you guys are tied for second place, huh?
And what place are you in? Fifth?
Yeah, I like Kevis's team more than Marco's.
Oh shit, Kev has put a team?
That's why I'm in fifth.
Yeah.
Oh, Kev has had White Queen, Jamie Madrox, the Multiple Man, Dazzler, Nightcrawler, and Chamber. That's interesting.
I'll give you AOA Nightcrawler since Cal took Nightcrawler. But
That's fair. That's fair. Oh man, I hope you guys enjoyed that draft. That was fun for us. All right, so it's worth noting this is a Predator versus Wolverine series. It does have the 20th Century Fox trade dress, which means this is the first book coming out of the 20th Century Fox imprint that features a Marvel character. So I think, and I'm sure, correct me if I'm wrong, this is technically the first real crossover between 20th Century and Marvel in the books, right?
it's the first one, yeah. Yeah, I mean those
You're
20th
right.
century characters have crossed over with other properties before Marvel had the rights to them, but I remember like
Yeah.
Green Lantern meets Planet of the Apes was the thing, which was pretty good actually. But yeah, for Marvel, this is the first one. And this is like the most obvious one too.
I'm sorry. Manny said Colossus versus Chris Hansen.
Oh no.
Yeah, Chris Hansen definitely needs to sit Colossus down on the couch.
Oh no.
He needs to ask him some questions about his relationship with Kitty. But yeah, so this is going to be a 4-issue limited series. It's going to be written by Benjamin Percy, which makes a lot of sense.
Oh,
Yep.
nice.
With art by everybody's favorite, Greg Land.
Oh,
Ken Lashley, Kei Zama, and other unannounced artists who will be a part of it as well. It's going to be the Predator and Wolverine, and it's going to unveil a decades-long war that these two have been involved in, a secret war, if you will, that we've never heard of somehow in all Wolverine's years, and it's going to be on sale September 20th. So how do you guys feel about this as a crossover? I know a lot of people said if they ever cross over with, Disney characters, I'm out. That's the break glass moment. That's when they're desperate. Is this like that?
No, that sounded like a cool concept that made a lot of sense. Like that sounds fun. And a lot of these books have been relatively enjoyable. The Alien one with Philip Kennedy Johnson on them initially started out really strong. Who was on? Was it Brisson on Predator?
Yeah.
Also really strong. Like I think what they're doing with the properties has been done well enough where it validates the crossover. Like I can kind of trust that they're gonna do a good job and take care of both aspects of the character, or rather, both characters.
Mm.
And Predator crossing over with the superhero is like comics 101. Like he done, we have Predator versus Batman, Predator versus Spawn. Like
Archie.
it makes sense even outside of Marvel owning the rights to it. You know what I mean? Like I could have seen this happen 10 years ago.
Right. Like I think people are very worried about the idea for some reason of Marvel like crossing characters over with the Disney properties. And I mean I have no desire to see like Mickey Mouse and Wolverine on the same page, but
I do.
Predator and Wolverine, I mean that's like a match made in heaven. Like I'm surprised it hasn't happened already.
I don't know about heaven, but yeah.
Oh, all right, fair enough. But like that makes so much sense. I don't have any problem with this. I mean, on the other end, you have Batman and Ninja Turtles. You have all kinds of things like that. So I think if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander. A good idea should always win, and I think this is a good idea.
Well, what do you see? And so I got to assume we have an Alien crossover in the works somewhere.
Oh, that'd be pretty good.
Alien
who'd be
versus
Guardians.
Oh.
I guess. What do you? So do you have the Guardians have to play in that horror aspect like
It's in the
Alien
ship.
would be, or do you have Alien in a goofy setting with the
No.
Guardians?
The aliens are either they're on the ship,
Yeah.
and it's just like the movie, but with the Guardians,
Yeah.
or they go to a planet that is infested and needs rescuing from the xenomorphs.
Let me one up you there.
Ooh.
They're also venomized.
Oh yeah, that seems obvious. Yeah.
Huh.
Oh man, Kale, that's money. Let's go make some money.
What about Planet of the Apes? What can they mix with?
They're venomized too.
Doesn't
Fuck
matter.
it.
Yeah, venomized.
So let me read some words from Ben Percy, because he appears to be pretty excited about this. So he said, I'm not going to say I was born to write this crossover, but sometimes the universe reveals why you were created. I am a child of the 80s. I cannot tell you how many times I've watched Predator, just as I cannot tell you how many Wolverine comics I've read, because that would be like telling you how many breaths I've taken or cheeseburgers I've eaten. This epic hunt will span decades as both of these giants learn and harden and grow deadlier with time. Neither will have the time to bleed, but you better make time to read, because I'm putting everything I've got into this event, and I'm thrilled to join forces with some of the best artists in the business.
Yo, I got up to go to the bathroom because I wasn't interested in this at all. But knowing Ben Percy is on this now,
Yeah, dude.
fuck.
He's been killing.
It's
it
gonna
on
be
Wolverine
hot.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be hot, I think. And so we got a couple of questions. One was, why does it look like Wolverine's in his Weapon X costume or design on the cover? And the answer is, as I said before, this spans multiple decades, which also answers the other question we got, which is, are there too many artists on this? My assumption is that the artists will actually be handling different eras of their battle. And that's why we need multiple. Now, that many on one singular comic book, it might not work, but I'm assuming that Ben has a plan.
Sure. Yeah.
That makes sense for this. I don't doubt that at all.
I hope the Predator shows up in the Wolverine Hulk fight, and it's like third teams it. You know what I mean? Like
Three-way dance. Yeah, let's go. Triple threat. That's fun. I'm in on this.
seems like mindless
Yeah.
fun to me. Yeah.
Yeah,
Same.
nothing wrong with a book like this.
What if there's a history where Wolverine was in the war, but it turns out he was on Arnold Schwarzenegger's commando unit during the
Whoa,
first
yo,
Predator
that'd
movie.
be cool, dude. I like to imagine it like killing, at some point killing the predator and having the offspring therein come and like avenge or something.
Baby
You could do
Predator? That's what I want.
you could do a lot with this stuff.
KG Comics asks, why does everyone hate Greg Land? Because he traces the images of porn stars for his women characters and generally just traces. I don't hate Greg Land. I like Greg Land's work, but I also acknowledge and recognize there's no damn doubt that every time he draws Jean Grey, Emma Frost, Hope, Storm, Mary Jane, Sue Storm, they all have the same exact face, and they all look like they're in their happiest moment, their blissful moment. If you catch my drift, and it's a little odd.
I think Greg Land at this point is just tracing his own stuff. Like even his thing looks the same in every single instance.
I think that question was sarcasm based on the nickname Greg Lightbox.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, what does the light box?
A light box is what you use to trace.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch the drift there. All right, fair enough. All right, cool. So we're in on this. It's going to be interesting. That's going to be out September 20th. So, not too long to wait. We got a couple of other big announcements from Marvel this week. This one surprised me. JMS is back. J. Michael Straczynski is returning to Marvel for an ongoing series for the first time since Thor.
Yeah.
He's that long. Wow.
Yeah, he's done one story things here and there. He has a story in the upcoming Marvel Ages 1000 or whatever that is. He's done some small things here and there, and that's kind of how he ended up back with Marvel. It was those incremental, oh yeah, I'll do this, I'll do that, and then he eventually was offered this, and he said, you know what? Actually, I love Cap, so let's run it. It's going to be JMS teaming up with Jesus Saiz, who is known, of course, for the Punisher run that just ended.
Saiz.
And
Saiz.
for Cap.
Captain America, Steve Rogers, Doctor Strange. They're going to team up for this. It's going to be a new number 1, which is, Marvel's way. It's going to feature a pre-super soldier serum Steve Rogers at 17 years old, trying to survive on his own and find his place in the world as the American Bund, which is that's like the Nazis in America movement that sprung up around that same time frame. As they were growing in power in Brooklyn. That's all real. The only thing that's not real about that is the Steve Rogers insert. Wow. But juxtaposed with that will be a modern story that features a new supernatural villain. This is also on sale September 20th.
That's really interesting, actually.
Two things here. Oh, go ahead, Mark.
Sorry, yeah, like that sounds like a very. That just sounds like a solid story to be able to want to tell that as well, like a piece of history. You kind of insert Cap into that. That fits really well. I wonder how explicit they'll be with imagery. That probably my only question on that, but concept wise, I think it has legs. I'd read it.
I am unfortunately not very interested in this, to be honest.
I think I agree with you.
I'm really enjoying the Steve Rogers Captain America stuff that's happening right now. So knowing that that's kind of ending is kind of a bummer. But also Jesus Saiz is probably one of the more prominent Cap artists in recent memory, and the fact that he's coming back. I mean, this is the same guy that did the Hail Hydra Cap. Mm-hmm. So, fine. And I gotta say, this cover is one of the more boring covers I've seen in recent memory.
Yeah.
Just in terms of composition, even the trade dressing for the logo is just, here's a font. There's no real design here. And also JMS has been so gone from comics for so long that I'm unsure.
He hasn't been gone from comics.
Well, from what I've been reading.
Yeah, he's been doing a ton of stuff with
AWA, absolutely.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, this just doesn't. Steve Rogers pre-serum is not interesting to me whatsoever. I see the hole Straczynski wants to fit into here, and that makes sense, and I could see how that could be a fun, interesting take, but it doesn't. I don't know. It's not. It doesn't do anything for me.
Are we sure that this 17-year-old Steve isn't also facing a predator in this book?
Oh no.
Well, yeah, of a different kind.
Gotcha.
Nazis, First of all, my biggest concern is how many steps we're going to watch Steve take in this book. Because if he's going to go on a walkabout, I'm out. I don't want to see that shit ever again. You don't take a superhero, just make them walk, okay? Obviously a reference to the incredibly boring Superman run that JMS wrote. But that aside, I think this is probably going to be very, very good. JMS clearly has something to say with the character. And the last 2 times that JMS was working on an ongoing book for Marvel, we got Amazing Spider-Man by him, which was fantastic, and Thor, which was absolutely incredible. So I have no reason to doubt that this is going to be on that level. Talent was never the problem.
Yeah.
He only left because they made him do that horse shit the One More Day, and he was tired of that, getting the runaround with stuff like that. But his books were good, so I'm excited for this. And then he also announced that he was going to be working on some kind of an event, a 6-issue event for Marvel. We don't know about that. But that's also coming. So JMS back in superhero comics.
Okay.
All right. So Tyler's not here, so we can't change the slide, but we are going to change the topic because we're going to be talking about another return. The Superior Spider-Man will return. That's the tweet that Marvel put out last Saturday on June 3rd. It's a simple tweet. They said the following: this fall, Dan Slott will return to the smarter, stronger, and superior wall crawler in Superior Spider-Man. More info swinging in soon. So we don't know anything, only know that Superior is coming back. It's interesting that Doc Ock also happens to be on the cover of the upcoming Amazing Spider-Man 27, a return to him, presumably in a villainous role in that book, which may well lead into Superior. This doesn't mean anything to me. I don't care.
I like Superior a lot,
yeah.
And this means nothing to me.
Why not?
Because I've seen it. I've read it.
It's coming back.
Yeah.
So it hasn't ended. It is continuing again.
Wrong.
For me, I think there's still more ground to cover with, Doc Ock, being this like hero, but like a spiteful hero that wanted to be a hero just to show that he could be a better hero than Peter Parker. I like that energy. It's real hater energy, and I like that.
Wasn't there was an alternate universe book that followed Superior? I think after that,
it wasn't even an alternate universe book. It was a main universe. He has like a clone body of Peter that he uses.
I didn't know
I think it was like post the clone conspiracy or something like that.
Oh yeah. Okay.
But I like that bit of it. I think it's an interesting part of Doc Ock. Honestly, I hope this is just current body Doc Ock putting on a Spider-Man suit and like then I could really there's like, oh, there's a hero I can see myself as,
During the Top Lane brought up the Nick Spencer Captain America run. During that, Superior Spider-Man became Superior Octopus or whatever.
Yeah. Yep.
And he was cool. Why did that leave? Why did they get rid of that? The only reason I can figure that Marvel, and I say Marvel specifically, they put that out, or they want to put this out, is because it's coming up on the 10-year anniversary.
Is it really? God, I'm old.
Yeah. And Dan Slott tweeted that, and he specifically said Marvel approached him for that. He said Edge of the Spider-Verse, he knew he wanted to do to tie in with Across the Spider-Verse. So Slott obviously wanted that to tie in, and that's fine. But they approached him for this. Nah.
I think I'm with you. Obviously I have a bias, but if it's an organic idea from a creator, then give anything a shot. But the idea that it's just going to be something to tie into an anniversary, now Dan Slott has to whip up an idea for a story. I'm not compelled by that. And then how does that work? Like, in my mind, as a person that didn't read Superior Spider-Man, there was no Peter. Like, there was no other Spider-Man. So what was interesting about it was like, all right, well, he has to perform the function of Spider-Man, but he's not Peter. So how does that work now? And it's an interesting look, right, at what that is. Without that dynamic, is there really still anything there?
Yeah, like Peter wasn't around, so he had to fill the void of Peter. And how does he do that?
Right.
And I know, like, once Peter came back, I think Doc Ock was like the Superior Spider-Man of like the West Coast for a bit. I think there was a little bit about how there's not enough skyscrapers over there for it to swing properly.
That's funny.
But yeah, I don't know. Sean, you still haven't read it, right?
Nope.
Man, that's gonna be a good book club pick when we do that.
Ay. Please don't. No, I do want to read it.
It has one of my favorite pages in Spider-Man of all time.
Go ahead, Kel.
Top Lane says, wait for them to make this an anthology series in the middle of the original run.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
they're doing that with Ben Riley, right?
Yeah, that would be annoying. All right. Well, I guess we'll wait for more information as it comes out. We got a lot of information this week about the Birds of Prey, a new Birds of Prey #1 coming. This is, of course, by Kelly Thompson, who is going to be teaming with Leonardo Romero and Jordi Belair on this book. So Kelly Thompson, I guess, maybe jumping ship from Marvel, doing some DC work, which it feels like a lot of the women that Marvel had, within their stable of writers have made the jump. So Kelly Thompson, doing that. The team for the Birds of Prey was revealed over the course of the week, and people are very precious. Particularly, I feel like about their DC B-list teams. Like, people really, really were like invested in who was going to be on this team. And, obviously you can never have all your favorites, but the one sticking point that it seemed like everybody was united around was that Harley Quinn not be on the team. People just don't want it. Harley burnout. She's not a core member of the Birds of Prey. You're missing certain characters if she's there. Don't want her, right? So on Friday, they waited until the last day for probably a two-pronged reason. They announced the final members. So here's the team. Black Canary, Cassandra Cain, Batgirl, Big Barda,
Hell yeah.
Zealot, and Harley Quinn.
Surprise, surprise. Who could have seen that coming?
Kelly did mention that, like, it's going to be a revolving door of a cast, and they're going to be there for arcs. So take that for what you will,
it won't be continuous. You're there for
sure.
the moment. Appreciate the moment.
I'm sure Black Canary is probably the glue there.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's a bit white, the team, besides Cassandra Cain. But yeah, I mean, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with Harley being on Birds of Prey. I have no issue with that at all.
It bugs me because, like, why does a team of women automatically have to have a Harley Quinn on it.
To make sales.
Top Lane says, looking at the team, Harley was for sure forced by the higher ups, and I have a hard time disagreeing with that. I feel that Harley Quinn being on this team smacks of, hey, we need Harley on this team to sell it, and that's unfortunate. But there are lots of people that love Harley. It'll sell for a reason, and that's because there are people that want that. So bully for them. Thompson talked a lot about, as Tyler mentioned, how the team will change. The problem that I have with that is that it feels to me like, hey, let's sell everybody on the white characters. And then once people start buying the book, we'll switch it up and now we'll give you the diversity. It feels like a diversity bait and switch, which is weird to do in such a transparent way. Because she was explicit about the fact when asked on Twitter, would there be more women of color in the subsequent lineups, and she said yes. So you're leading with the whites, and then you're going to give us the minorities later, and what, people are expected to stick around? Everybody who's buying the number one because they want the white people are going to jump ship as soon as you start adding some shades to it.
A little gradient.
I mean, Harley's a different shade of white.
I don't know. I'm not like a Birds of Prey fan anyway, so this doesn't affect me. I'll read the book for Kelly Thompson.
Leo Romero.
I'll read the book for the creative team in general because I love Jordi Belair as well. Leo Romero is very talented. So it's a great creative team, but the machinations of the formation of the team of characters rubs me the wrong way. But I will never, ever, ever say no to a book that has Big Barda in it. That is my girl. Big girl, but that's my girl.
Barda trumps all races. Wait a second.
I really like this team lineup. I mean, everyone here has been a bird of prey besides Zealot, and Zealot is a left field choice.
I don't know who this person is.
Same.
Wildcats. This is a Wildstorm character. I think currently being written by
Rosenberg.
Rosenberg.
I
Is
saw
that what he's doing Wildcats right now? Zealot's a fun character. So yeah, I mean, like on its face, I really like this team, and Kelly and Leo Romero did one of my favorite books of all time, which is their Kate Bishop Hawkeye stuff. So seeing that team reunite for a book like this, like hell yeah, and that Kate Bishop Hawkeye turned out it was sort of a teamish book. There was a lot of supporting cast there. So I know these guys have the chops to put out some real quality content. So yeah, as of now, like in terms of books that are coming out, this is probably up there on the things I'm most excited for.
MP says Thompson stated these were her 5 picks and Ben Abernathy accepted her pitch. Well, Thompson did say that she has a very specific idea for, the first issue and the first mission that necessitates this team, and we'll see why. Okay. If she says so, if you're telling me that you organically chose Harley Quinn for no other reason than the story, then I accept it.
The other thing too is like this smells Marvel-y to me. This smells like a Marvel, 5 years ago. Even the variant covers, like I have them up here. There's a Chris Bacalo variant, there's a Nick Bradshaw variant, and there's a Frank Cho variant. Like these are all people you would have considered Marvel people, 6-7 years ago. During it, like some of my favorite Marvel too. So it's like, oh, all right, this is weird, but I'm digging it.
I think I don't necessarily care for the lineup. I'm here for the creative group, like the team, whatever they put in front of me, I'm gonna eat it up.
Marco, you have Marvel Limited, right?
No, sir.
No, okay, never mind then.
I mean, if you want to.
I was gonna say check out that Hawkeye run. I think you'd actually like it. Yeah.
I love his art, so I did not know that he was on a book there. So it's gonna be on my list.
I got you, Marco.
You want to swap logins?
I got you, Marco.
Oh,
I'm on your
word.
DC. Okay.
All right.
I was gonna say swap what, Marco? What are you trying to swap, dude? You gotta
Let's
stop
go.
swapping.
Hey, damn, bro.
I thought we talked about that. Anyway, can we talk more real quick about Big Barda? So how tall is Big Barda to you? Please. I need to know.
But
Seven.
based
Tall
7
enough.
inches or 7 feet?
I wonder if there's a canonical answer to this.
Probably.
maybe.
I said 6'7", by the way.
Oh, 6 foot.
Oh,
Okay,
I heard
okay.
7.
Yeah, 6'5", 6'7" is where I like it. That's or where I imagine
like it.
what I imagine.
Whoa. There is a canonical answer. She's 7 foot.
She's 7 foot tall.
Yeah.
That's right.
great.
That's all. That's all
That's
right.
great.
What's
That's
that
great.
meme of the woman pinning up the other woman on the wall?
Yeah, absolutely. What is that meme?
It's not like I don't know the names of both those people in that meme at all, but it's fine.
Exactly.
Next slide.
Who was the character? I can't believe I can't remember her name right now, but the character from the X of Swords, Ten of Swords, the woman that could
Cypher's-
change her height. Who?
Change her height?
What was her name? She had the she was the powerful one, the one that used magic.
Oh yes. Oh my God.
She ran the game
Saturn
tournament. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. The Emma Frost clone. Yeah.
Let's see that crossover.
All right.
Yeah.
Tall women unite. Let's go.
It's too early for this horniness. Get on to the next one.
All right.
Motherfucker, it's 5 o'clock.
True.
For some of us.
It's horny time somewhere.
All right, fine. So if we're gonna go anti-horny, then we got to talk about the Flash.
Oh, jail.
And the next slide is that.
The Flash film releases next week, June 16th. Also happens to be my birthday.
Hey.
DC,
Now-
happy birthday.
Yeah. Thanks, DC. Now, we've talked a lot about our feelings about Ezra and all their crimes and everything like that. We've discussed how we feel about the fact that we're going to see a movie that features them in it. They've done two of them. Jesus. They've done essentially no press for this film, which is like probably the worst part of filmmaking for an actor, is having to go out and do the press tour. So they got to avoid the press tour, make all the money, and now it appears that if there is a sequel, it will feature Ezra Miller. That is according to director Andy Muschietti, who spoke about The Flash on the Discourse podcast. When asked whether Ezra would play The Flash in a sequel, he said, if a sequel happens, yes. I don't think there's anyone that can play that character as well as they did. The other depictions of the character are great, but this particular vision of the character, they just excelled in doing it. And as you said, the two Barrys, it feels like a character that was made for them.
Cool. So they excelled at pretending to be a hero, and in reality, being a villain.
Essentially. Now, this whole rollout feels very deliberate to me, and I see the gears turning, and maybe I'm just a conspiracy theorist, but every now and then I'm onto something. And so this is what I'm saying. First, we heard from Tom Cruise, paid spokesperson,
Easy.
right?
Savior
Like, at
of
this
cinema,
point-
by the way. Savior of cinema.
It was weird. Maybe it was organic, but follow me. Let's say it wasn't. Let's say he was a paid spokesperson. Then you had what felt like a flood of random celebrities and people saying, yeah, The Flash is amazing. Not even just it's good, it's amazing. James Gunn, who has no bias, said it's one of the greatest superhero movies he's ever seen. Okay. Then it starts to be more reviews come out because now more people have seen it. And they're saying, wait, this movie's not that good. This movie's not particularly good at all.
Yeah.
In fact, currently, out of 117 reviews, it's got a 71%, which is not horrible, but it's certainly not great. It's not one of the best superhero movies of all time good, right? So what's what's happening here? Then we found out, according to the Hollywood Reporter, that Warner Brothers already has a script ready for Flash 2, written by David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick, who is in a competition for the longest name of anybody ever.
Seriously.
Facts.
It was like me reading a listener comment.
from Dan.
Yeah.
And the script is ready if this movie does well. And now that the movie is projected to make 71 or 70 to 75 million dollars in its opening weekend, which I should note is better than Black Adam, which pulled in 67 million, and way better than Shazam 2, which was like, I don't even have the number in front of me, but it was very low. But it's way short of the Batman, which was 134 million. I think they want this to do $1 billion. And so now that all of this is out on Front Street, the director of the movie says the one thing nobody wants to hear, which is that Ezra will be back. But the only reason that matters, that we don't want to hear it, is if the movie tanks. If the movie does great, who cares? It's all about the result.
Yeah.
So if the result is that the movie is excellent, no one will care. And it will make its money, and then they get to have Ezra as the Flash, which is all they care about.
And
they don't care what Ezra did. They never did. Look at the strategy from then to now. It's all been rehabilitation. That's all it is.
If they gave a shit, they wouldn't have left Ezra as the Flash.
Right.
It's always money. It's always money.
Even if I accept at face value, hey, we have a full movie we made, you just can't dump out of it. You could dump out of Batgirl, can't dump out of this. Okay, fine. Why is the director coming out ahead of the movie's release and saying, if there's a sequel, Ezra will play the Flash?
Right.
Well, Muschietti has also been rumored as the frontrunner, as the director for Batman and Robin recently as well.
Brave and the Bold.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. So like it seems like he might be around the DC sphere for a while. So this or quote unquote announcement by him, who knows if this was ever, meant to actually be said out loud on a podcast. But it seems like he might have some sway. This guy might not just be a one-off director for a movie they won't ever reference again,
But I think to him mentioning that, it's you're putting feelers out there.
Exactly.
Like what?
Yeah.
Let me say this thing, and how are people going to react? What's the news going to be around it? Because I think you're right that I don't think they want the movie to make $1 billion. I think they need it to make $1 billion because they got to cover off some kind of legal fee, because that's a lot of money they put in, they invested. So they need some return on that. But
Plus all the losses they've suffered recently.
yeah. So I think they have a lot riding on this movie, and this announcement or this whatever is to just test the waters. What's the vibe? Are people excited coming into the Flash movie? If so, they're gonna go see it. If there's potential for a sequel, and maybe Ezra Miller's gonna play, who knows? But I think it's to try to build some sort of fervor.
I believe there's also that secret ending we don't know about in the Flash that they haven't screened yet, right? There's that one they said they were only going to screen at the premiere, and then once it comes out.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that sounds like it's important for the future. So what that scene entails too, I think that might have something to do with this.
You know what? To me, that shouldn't matter. I don't Top Lane said, what does Ezra have on Warner? Epstein levels of blackmailing. Why do we have to stick with this person? I don't understand why they're so important. That actor, the character, yes, you have to have the Flash, of course.
Yeah.
But why that actor? Why are they going so hard for this particular person?
And why aren't they just saying, look, we made this film, like Sean said earlier, we made this film and we spent so much fucking money on it. We gotta release it because that's like an understandable excuse.
Yeah.
It's not a good one,
Yeah.
but it's like, all right.
Fine.
Business is going to business at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't believe that Marvel would have, like, if the Jonathan Majors fiasco happened before Quantumania released, like months before or whatever, I don't think that they would have shelved the movie.
No.
I think they would have put the movie out. I think most movie studios at that point in production and all that would put the movie out. But you better believe that currently Marvel is having conversations about what the fuck to do about Jonathan Majors. 100%. Why does it feel like Warner, and we're not in the back rooms, why does it feel like their only agenda has ever been to rehabilitate this person's public perception? It doesn't feel like they've thought about anything else.
Is Ezra like the ultimate Nepo baby where like their parents have written in and like,
they're David Zaslav's
I do know for a fact that Ezra comes from a family of money. So
I was gonna say, where are they from? Do you know?
I believe they're from like the Rockland area of New York, like around there.
Okay.
To be that big of a douche, you have to come from money. I wouldn't be surprised to learn that Ezra Miller is David Zaslav's illegitimate child. Just like
the Jon Snow to Zaslav.
Yeah, the Jon Snow, the Hornswoggle to Vince McMahon. Like this is David Zaslav's illegitimate child, and David's gonna do everything he can to make sure that Ezra is good, because this is just uncanny. I've never seen anything like this in my life.
Ezra has some bombshell information regarding the 90 Day Fiancé universe that cannot be exposed. MP makes a good point though. He says, "I still don't feel which one was okay. I think there's also a feeling that if audiences think there's no chance of a sequel, they'll be less inclined to see the movie. If it's a one and done." I agree. I think audiences are kind of taught at this point that these movies matter because there will be more. These characters will return. If you're saying that this is a one and done, I think it would be, people will be less inclined to go if they know that, and that was the press going around it. So you kind of have to be cagey about that.
I don't agree with that, because first of all, we have seen actors change in superhero stories. There are 3 active Batmen right now. 2 of them will be in this very movie.
That's true, yeah.
So I don't think that audiences are in that place. I don't think audiences didn't go see Shazam because of the universe rebooting. I don't think they didn't go see Black Adam. I think it's because those movies aren't very good. And if they wanted people to feel like this is connected to the future, say it. Telling us Ezra will be back what the hell does that mean? If there's a sequel, Ezra will be in it.
What if, hear me out, big brain here. What if Ezra is going to return? Ezra as the Flash won't. Ezra, what if, okay, hold on, big brain here, big brain. What if the other Flash in the movie turns out to be a reverse Flash, and Ezra is a villain that continues throughout the multiverses and follows them around? Heel turn.
So I think that you're right. I think Reverse Flash is in this movie, and I think it is Ezra. I think he's playing, or I'm sorry, I think they're playing, Barry and Barry, but one is Flash and one is Reverse Flash, and that'll be like, we'll see the turn over time.
Sure.
Because there's no way Zod is the main villain of this movie, right? Like, that's random. So I agree with you there. I just can't imagine. It's all up in the air. They want Ezra, in my opinion, based on the way this whole thing's gone. They want Ezra for some reason.
Money. That's all. That's how any of this can be described. It's just for money.
Yeah, I mean, you've put this much money into it already. You gotta get a return.
The only, as far as the Nepo baby conversation, the only thing I've come up with here is that his father was their father was the senior vice president at Hyperion Books and is a publisher at Workman Publishing. Now, I'm going to put a heavy take that with a grain of salt, because both of these websites I looked at mention very specifically that he's Jewish. So I don't.
Yeah, who's Jewish?
The father.
Robert Miller, Ezra's,
Okay.
Ezra's father.
Okay. I see what you're implying. Yeah. This is the weirdest thing happening right now as it relates to superhero films.
Yeah.
I don't know where this is going to go. I am excited for the movie as we shift into that part of the conversation. I am excited for the movie. I do want to see it. I am curious to see what they're going to do. I've become a fan of the Flash over the last 10 years. There have been some really great Flash comics that have come out, and I've been hungry for a Flash film. And this was a movie that we were promised long before Ezra's tour of villainy. And so I still want it. What do I want after that is really the problem. And that can only be, that's a problem for another day. But right now, if we're just talking about the movie, I can't wait to see it.
Yeah. Honestly, I think after this, you just drop Barry as a character. If you want a Flash, it's Wally.
Simple and clean.
Yeah. Great song, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm not paying to see this movie. They're not getting $1 out of me. Or £1 or whatever the fuck.
Gail's gonna be watching that the shaky cam footage.
Yeah. I mean, if that's
Gail's gonna be watching those here's the entire movie in 30 seconds on TikTok.
That's funny. Marco, you excited?
I'm gonna go watch it. I mean, shitty that you're gonna be supporting this person, but I mean, yeah, I'm gonna go see it.
For me, I'm not totally excited to see it. Like scheduling the time to go see this has been a chore for me. Just because it comes out in the most inopportune time for me.
Me too.
And so I'm going at like a 2:30 next Friday, like in the middle of the day. Just to get it out of the way.
Hey, that's my preferred time to see movies.
I'm excited to see Michael Shannon back as Zod, though. I do like him as Zod. I will say that.
Absolutely. I mean, everything around, the Ezra thing is like cool. Like, hey, Michael Keaton's back as Batman, cool. Ben Affleck back as Batman, cool.
Let that rest.
Supergirl being in the movie, cool. Zod, cool. All that's cool. Two Flashes, sure. 2 Ezras, head for the hills.
That's the thing. It's fucking Big Bang Theory up in here. Like,
What?
Marowak Oscuro says this movie's only point is to reboot the universe, Ezra included. They're a walking problem. Let's please use the correct pronouns. We're not trying to intentionally misgender people. Not that you intentionally did that.
Although
I
agree, though.
I agree completely with your sentiment, and I hope you're right.
Marowak Oscuro sounds like a Pokemon luchador, and I dig it.
That's a cool ass name.
Yeah.
Yes. With a name like that, you're welcome here as long as we're not intentionally misgendering. Perry Flash became my favorite DC hero since Justice League and Justice League United show. I really just want anyone else to pick up the role. Yeah. They're good candidates.
We need more male ginger representation in movies. So bring Wally in.
Please.
Why not? We'll see. We will be here next week with a review of The Flash. We will have a review for you guys. That'll be out next Sunday. So you'll hear our thoughts on this film, good, bad, or otherwise. Next Saturday, we will be doing a joint birthday celebration for Tyler and I. My birthday's on the 16th. Tyler's is some other day.
Yo, that's fucked.
Damn. Fucking chopped liver over here.
The 19th, right?
No, it's the 8th. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Nice. Hey, 619.
Booyaka. Yeah, that's all you got to do to remember it.
Dude, and I'm 616. How cool is that?
Oh, cool. We both got weird, nerdy birth dates.
Hell yeah. Me and Tupac. Me, Tupac, and Marvel. So yeah, tune in next week for that. We're going to be having a lot of fun. What are we going to do to celebrate our birthdays? I don't know. Probably roast the shit out of each other.
I gotta look in. I gotta do some more digging on that.
As is typical.
Right. What else do we do? So that should be a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys will join us for that. Let us know if you are excited about going to see The Flash. Or are you going to be boycotting due to Ezra? And I love, if you can't see it, the picture that Tyler has of Ezra is unbelievably funny to me.
I think this is when they were like hiding out in like the Northeast after like
that's right.
kidnapping
Cult.
somebody.
The cult accusations are really
Yeah,
starting popping
yeah.
off. Yeah. They were putting bullets in babies' mouths or something.
Yeah.
It's the mustache that's really doing
My
it
thing
for
is
me.
like Ezra's doing all this weird stuff, and I feel like while they're doing this, Jared Leto is behind the scenes doing something devious. Like,
Nah, you know what he's doing? Literally, he just got busted for climbing 10 feet up a German hotel.
What?
Leto
He's not
really?
doing anything.
Jesus. All right.
Wait, who did that?
Jared Leto.
Oh, okay. What a nut.
He's just crawling up the wall.
You know
Just
how
want
it
to see if
is.
he could do it. I guess I gotta.
That's
give him props
some
for that
method
one.
acting for Morbius too.
No, it said actually. I don't know if you guys saw this, but it was announced that there's going to be more miles in live action, and I think Jared Leto is getting ready for the role.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah. So
He heard more and then just stopped listening. It's like, oh yeah, more.
When I think about Jared Leto, I think about a man who has the swagger of a black teen. And so there's no one more ready for that role than Jared Leto. Can't wait.
And soon even more so once he gets into character.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I
Lost.
can't wait till he delivers a horse's head to the beds of all the actors who will join him in that movie. CW Gordon says, watching on Super Delay and just reached the X-Men draft, did none of you mention Emma Frost, the supposed quote S-tier Marvel character? First of all, I love the reference to our Royal Rumble that we did, superhero Royal Rumble that we did at the start of the year, in which X-Men was an S-tier Marvel character. You know what? She didn't slip my mind, but I happen to believe that all the characters that I picked are more powerful, which is what I was going for.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't, and I wanted a cool team, not a romantic entanglement team.
Fair. Which is what it would have devolved into inevitably.
Mhm.
All right. Join us next week on Saturday for the birthday show, 10:15 a.m. Eastern. Next Saturday. Tyler, why are you looking at me like that?
I thought you were about to say Thursday for the Pals Pulls. So I was
Okay. Wednesday at 6 p.m. for Pals Pulls. That's a special day. Normally it is Thursdays, but it is Wednesday this particular week. So come ready to talk about the comics. It should be a lot of fun, as always. Patreon.com is the best way, or patreon.com/thecomicspals is the best way to support the show. If you enjoy what we do here and you want more of this, there is more available on patreon.com/thecomicspals. And it shows us that you support what we do, you enjoy what we do. Fun fact, due to all of the amazing things that have been happening lately, some of us are going to New York Comic Con with press badges, which is
Shame you can't go, Marco. Dang.
Oh baby, I got that.
Way to rub it in, Sean.
What am I like a loser or something? It doesn't fucking get press passes or some shit?
oh. So at least two of us will be sporting press badges at New York Comic Con, and I believe that is directly tethered to the incredible support, views, comments, everything, listens from all of you. So huge thank you. It's maybe it doesn't seem like much when you're not doing the kind of thing that we do. But the difference between having press and anything else at an event as big as New York Comic Con is staggering. Marco, you'll remember when we had at least one press badge, and we were going into that like press lounge area, which was super cool. You get access to interviews you wouldn't normally, so it's awesome that we got that, and I attribute that directly to you guys. So thank you for all your help and your support. So patreon.com if you want to support us, and we're giving away a lot on there as well. So join our Discord server. Tyler, it's okay. It's okay.
I take it back. I take it back, Tyler. I apologize.
Just ask them to take a second look, dude. They can't overlook you twice. Wait, is it the 19th already? Are we doing the roast of Tyler now? Join our Discord server. There's a lot of awesome stuff going on there, almost 24/7. It's really incredible. We appreciate everybody that interacts there and everybody who watches us live. So
just remind me for my next press application to mention all the shows Marco missed.
Damn. I like to think that Tyler was sitting there like really thinking hard about what to say. Okay.
And that's what he came up with.
Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna kick you while you're down, Tyler. I get it.
We've got a Flashpoint book club that you guys should check out. I thought was a great conversation. So give that a listen, and everything else at the Comics Pals. Let's do some plugs. Kel, you're up.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Comics Pals. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TotoInto. That's TOTOI and TOW. You can find my work at KaleWard.com. That's CALEWARD.com. Go pick up Flash 800 this week. It was really, really good. It had Mark Waid and Jeff Johns sort of rehashing their old work, and it was tremendous. Revisiting their old work, I guess is a better way to put it. Cy Spurrier is also there. You gotta do what you gotta take the good with the bad, I guess. But it was really good. It was definitely worth it. I don't know. That's all I got.
Marco.
You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at Mr. Marco Enomoto. Come talk to me about. I've continued to do Swamp Thing, just archaeology stuff, because I'm continuing to go through back issues and putting together a few other lists of underrated arcs for my newsletter. Next one is Nancy Collins, for anybody who's familiar with the name. Good stuff, good horror. So stay tuned for that one in about 2 weeks. And then otherwise, I finished my Dress Up Darling, well, the first season. Super cute. Having a lot of fun with that.
Marco versus Predator coming up next.
Stop! And I'm trying to get back onto the One Piece train, but it's been much more difficult once you've taken a break. So we'll see.
Marco, what is the age you thought this little darling was?
I think she's like 18 or something in this show.
He said, I think. Yo.
I think. They always say some shit like that, like, oh, she told me she was 18, or...
Stop!
She's more mature than she looks.
I'm gonna come.
Oh, wrong one.
Whoa!
Talk about it, Brandon.
Good show.
Wow. Tyler, you're up.
You can follow me at the Tyler Olson on Instagram and Twitter. I am one thing that I've been laughing about lately is Shamik Moore and Haley Steinfeld are doing press for the new Spider-Verse movie, and Shamik Moore, dude's got like negative riz. It's real. It's tough.
Yo, he's down bad. He wants Haley so bad. It's crazy.
And like, I get it, dude. I get it. But also, like, bro is just he's just got L's everywhere. It's like, oh, man. He says something about like, oh, as long as Haley's in it. And then she does that laugh of somebody who is like not interested. And I was like, yo, no, Shamik, what are you doing?
Well, she has a man anyway.
Josh
from what
Allen,
I know.
Yeah, from Buffalo,
But-
so screw him.
But he's the only live action Spider-Man that didn't hook up with the their
gotta say.
main like love interest.
Dr. Umar would approve though, so
Would
approve of him taking
no,
L's.
no. Oh, yeah.
I think I have a sound clip for that one actually. No, I won't do that one.
As for me, I'm on Twitter and Instagram only at Sean Soapbox. I'm going to be watching some UFC tonight. I'm excited for that. And, hopefully turning my brain off. That's what I want to do. I want to turn off my brain and watch some dudes and chicks duke it out. So what's wrong with that?
Really had to concentrate to put that chicks in there.
What-
Dudes, say chicks. Dudes and chicks.
What did you think I was going to say?
Dudes and Deuterinos.
No, the main event tonight is two women fighting. So I'm hyped. Anyway, with that, we're the Comics Pal signing.